Await my orders!
Hey, this is UnrivaledSkyrim, bringing you a 4-player free-for-all battle on Rome Total War. I am playing as the Thracians, and this, I believe it's a scored resolution. No, it's a last man standing battle, free-for-all battle. And the rules were that you can only play as a barbarian faction, which made it a little bit more interesting. And the map is, let's see here, I think the Macedonian ruins. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It just looks different because there's more space added to it because there's more players. I chose the Thracians because I like the mixture of Hellenic troops and barbarian troops as well. I mean, you get these Bastarnae and Falxmen and Phalanx pikemen, militia cav, as well as Greek cavalry and archers, regular archers. And at first I wanted to deploy against the Dacians, just come down this ridge and attack them on this flat land where I thought I would have had a great. I brought more of a rush build, although I do have a slight skirmishing ability with my mounted militia cavalry, who hurl javelins and are able to form Canterbury circle, just in case I can use them as distractions if my opponents brought archers. But I have 3 lines. My first line is composed of the Falxmen, who have a good attack, although poor defense because they're unarmored and no shield. They just carry those, how do you pronounce it? Romofellas? I can't quite remember how to pronounce it. But just big 2-handed swords with a elongated curved blade. And the Phalanx pikemen, we all know what these guys are all about. Giant pikes and the Phalanx. And these Bastarnae units, which fight with the Pelte, the shield, and with the one-handed sort of Romofelia. I can't pronounce it. I'm not even going to try to do that again. But these guys are pretty hard-hitting with their 2 hit points. They have okay defense, I mean, relatively good defense, but little to no armor. They just have those helmets and those greaves. And my general's armored bodyguard. There he is, right there, in all his Thracian glory. But seeing that that Spain. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Dacia was over here. That was Spain. I'm sorry. Colors got me confused. But seeing that Spain deployed so far away and the Germans are closer, I'm gonna go attack them first. Let's take a look at the Germans. Let's see. This guy's name is Striker. Well, I guess in the Striker clan, whatever that is. E. Mitchell, 45. I'll just call him E. Mitchell. Let's take a look at his dudes. He's got a line of spear warbands, and they're backed up by chosen axemen. And I think he has 2 units on both wings of, well, one of both wings, berserkers, and a mass amount of Gothic cavalry. Huge amount. But they're gonna march towards me. Let's take a look at my opponents, my other opponents. Spain has brought Balearic slingers, looks like 5 of them. Some Scutarii and long shield cavalry, and these dreaded bull warriors. They're pretty sick. Only bad thing about them is they can't receive a charge from heavy cavalry pretty good. I've had experience like that. And the Dacians, let's see what they got. They have, looks like he intermingled all his units. So we got some Falxmen with chosen swordsmen over here, and their chosen archers and they're littered with these naked fanatics, and they're backed by, looks like 3 units of barbarian noble cav. Yeah, and that's where his general's at. Right here. Those are my opponents. And since these guys are fighting first, let's take a look and see the skirmishing action. Now once again, these guys are using flaming arrows. There's really no point to using flaming arrows at this point of the battle, or at this part of the battle. I would rather use normal ammunition, because it's quicker to fire and it does more damage. Meantime, I'm just going to march towards the Germans. But here, this is pretty interesting. He goes after he sends all his cavalry to attack that one unit, but meantime, the Spanish dude, Ironclad, he manages to outflank and encircle with his some pretty good cavalry action. Managing with his long shield cavalry, he manages to totally encircle barbarian cavalry, and they rout from the field. So pretty good maneuvering by my opponent, the Spanish dude. And so we saw that fight. Now it's getting close to my fight. Now I'm gonna try my best to get the best positioning on my opponent as possible, because I was initially gonna attack him from uphill, or at least make it look like it. But then I turned to the left, and I'm gonna try to get this slight height advantage right here on his dudes. And I'm going to need it because my cavalry component is totally not going to withstand a direct confrontation with his. I mean, he's just got, let's see, 6 units of Gothic cavalry, and I only have, my only heavy cavalry is my general's armored bodyguard, and they're not meant to act as a striking force, but just to protect my general from dying in battle. But I am going to try to discharge my javelins on his berserkers. Look how close I'm from my opponent. I mean, I was pretty lucky to try to get catch my guys out of position and just rush in his cavalry, then hit me with his berserkers. But good thing he didn't take that opportunity. He allowed me to get my guys in position. But here I do have the height advantage. But as you can see, right here, there's this little dip in the hill, right here. And you're gonna see what happens because of that. Just because of that little dip, that little part of the hill where it goes down, kind of gives my opponent, his berserkers, a way to get through my guys' pikes, and they just smash all these phalanx pikemen. But notice here, my guys have a total hill advantage, well, height advantage, and none of his berserkers get through, and they're just gonna be impaled. I mean, it's pretty sad. I mean, those units could have totally torn me up if used correctly, but over here they did manage to do quite a number of damage. And I noticed that during the battle, and I was like, oh my gosh, just because of that. And It's too late for me to move them, because if they move, they can possibly be, well, especially for these Gothic cavalry, be attacked from behind, and I do not want that to happen. Seeing that my opponent has a huge cavalry advantage, I'm going to have my Falxmen posted on the wings, and I'm going to use that as a sort of deterrent for him. And I'm going to engage with I'm going to wait to engage my Phalanx pikemen against his spear warbands. But he's going to try to catch my guys napping, and he's going to send in his chosen axemen, who are going to be attacking my pikemen from the fronts. And that's not what you want to do with these axemen. They have a pretty high attack, but if they're caught from the front, they can easily be fought back and routed, because they don't have very good defense and no armor at all. So he loses the majority of his axemen, so he commits his line of spear warbands. And this is when he activates his cavalry. He's gonna send all of them on the left flank, well, his left flank, my right. And I'm kinda I don't really know what to do, because these militia cavalry are just gonna be useless fighting against these guys. But the good thing is I managed to totally rout pretty much all of his infantry, so that was good for me. But I still had to worry about his Gothic cavalry. So I try to rush my Bastarnae to try to withstand them, and they're gonna try their best. They're gonna try their best, man, to hold that line. And my general's gonna fling himself in the thick of things and try to save the day for all of Thrace. I was gonna say Greece. He doesn't care about Greece. He only cares about Thrace. But he's gonna try to get as many flanking shots as possible. Now I'm gonna bring my Sarissa wielding pikemen, and they're gonna have that bonus versus cavalry advantage on them. And I do manage to get a hammer and anvil with my... Can you hammer and anvil cavalry? But to rear charge my enemy with my armored bodyguard. And over here, meanwhile, yeah, my station unit guy got messed up.
The attack.
And looks like Spain pretty much has all his bull warriors still left, and not good for me. Let's just leave it at that. But I did manage to hold down and pin down all of his Gothic cavalry, and slowly, but, well, I won't say slowly, but surely I managed to kill them all, or rob them all. So I think that was him, admitted defeat. Yeah, it was him, the German player, E. Mitchell. So I was pretty ecstatic that I managed to defeat the German with a pretty decent amount of casualties. And for some reason, even though I think I knew that was free for all, last man standing, I'm still gonna go for a few amount of kills, just for the heck of it. And this is when I turned around to see who had won the Dacia and Spain fight, and Spain looked like they were the clear victor, so I'm gonna march towards them. You're gonna see me in this upcoming battle against Ironclad, I make a grievous mistake that I will never ever make again. And that is, I underestimated the Bull Warriors. And it is a lesson that I will not soon forget. Look at his cool Celtiberian general with his blue cape, plume and whatnot. Totally. He's got some pretty good fashion sense. Almost looks like a Nancy boy amongst those rugged Iberian dudes, those Bull Warriors, those ridiculous hats. But thinking that my Falxmen and my pikemen are more, or my Bastarnae are more of a match, more than a match for these Bull Warriors, I'm going to send them by themselves, thinking that my Bastarnae are, because I knew Bull Warriors have 2 hit points along as Bastarnae, but we shall see who is superior over each other. Let's see, Bastarnae versus Bull Warriors. We'll see who wins. And all his Bull Warriors, they are fresh, they are pretty much untouched. And I'd even take that into consideration. I said, well, you know what, I got Falxmen too, I'll just send them as well. And I can even use Warcry. And only bad thing about Bastarnae is they can't use Warcry. I don't think, Bull Warriors, I don't think you can either. Yeah, Bastarnae Mercenaries, if you know how to unlock the Rebel faction for multiplayer, they can totally use Warcry, and that's a big, almost a big difference. Alright, he's gonna send his Bull Warriors. And looks like I don't know quite what to do with my Bastarnae, so I'm gonna charge them in. And sure enough, I think, man, they can easily take out these Bull Warriors. I mean, they should be itching for a fight. But I didn't take into consideration that a bunch of them were had already fought quite a bunch, and then a bunch of them are tired, warmed up, and they don't. I mean, some of them are somewhat heavily depleted, somewhat heavily depleted. But I did manage to rout that Skitarii unit. I mean, that's a good thing, right? And right here, my Falxmen. Oh man, I feel sorry for my Falxmen. You'll see. Oh, you'll see. My Falxmen are just getting torn to shreds. Bastarnae, they're not gonna last. I mean, look. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Well, 7 units, including my general. 6 units attacking 2 of these Bull Warriors. Who do you think is gonna win? Let's see. 1, 2, 3 going up against 6 units of Falxmen. Who do you think is gonna win? If you saw Falxmen, well, we'll just see. We'll just see that you were, including me at the time, was mistaken. And seeing that my Bastarnae and my Falxmen are failing miserably, I'm going to send in my pikemen.
Much better to have lived.
And they're going to use their spears to fight these dudes from a distance and impale them. I like that word, impale. But this is when I turn the tide and I defeat these Bull Warriors. So lesson learned from this battle is Bull Warriors will totally destroy Bastarnae.
The enemy general is running away. This is no way
Or
for
I
the
won't
leader
say
to
totally
behave.
destroy,
but in
but
battle, it is
defeat
beyond
them,
belief.
and they will totally destroy Falxmen. If you think Falxmen are able to defeat them on a one-on-one fight, you are mistaken, like I was. Now what I should have done was,
The enemy
just as
army
before,
is in flight. Pursue
led
them.
with my
Drive them from
phalanx
the
pikemen,
battlefield.
hold them, use their long sarissas to hold them in place, and attack the flanks with my Bastarnae and my Falxmen. That would have been a good idea. I mean, as you can see, there's a lot more Thracian men dead on the ground over here than Iberians. I mean, thank goodness that Dacia didn't have a whole lot of men. I mean, all he has are these chosen, looks like that chosen archers might be out ammunition. They have their daggers drawn out. No, they still have their bows. But there's only 2 of them, and there's only 2 of these naked fanatics. And words cannot explain how upset I was at myself, how foolish I was to misuse my dudes and not truly use them to their full capacity. I just sent my guys to mindless slaughter. But you know what, you live and learn, especially in these games, what to do and not to do, and I got away with one today. Let's just put it at that. And I can't wait till Rome Total War 2. And I'm hoping, I'm almost praying, almost. I don't pray a lot, especially for video games, but I hope they put Thrace in the game as a playable faction, at least for multiplayer. And for campaign as well, but I just want to see Thrace represented in the new game, and for you to be able to play as them online, because I'm so intrigued by the Thracians that they're both Greek and a mixture of Greek and barbarian cultures, and their fighting style. And I mean, who doesn't love Spartacus, the Thracian that almost destroyed Rome? I mean, come on. Who doesn't like Spartacus, Blood and Sand, and the rest of the series? You know, he was only in Thrace for like one episode, for the first episode. I mean, that was pretty cool seeing him fighting as Thracian auxiliaries, or mercenaries in the Roman auxiliary.
The gods be praised!
A barbarian
the enemy's hearts
tribe.
are full of fear, and now they flee.
But right there, I just charged with my depleted units who had been almost slaughtered before, but I just chose to do that to regain some of their honor and dignity after having almost been defeated by those Iberian bull warriors. But yeah, Rome Total War 2 is gonna be off the hook. And I've already got it pre-ordered, man, and I'm excited that they finally put Epirus in the game. Epirus, I think, should have been in this game, because in the historical battles they had Pyrrhus, or Pyrrhus, however you pronounce his name. I can't remember how to spell it, but he's one of my favorite generals, because he had defeated the Romans not once but twice at 2 great battles. Yet he was unable to end his campaigns. He would start one, win at first, but if things got tough or he started to lose, he would cut and run and just go go to another campaign without just considering that he should finish the one that he had already started. But I'm just glad that they finally have Epirus in the game, because you can use them to fight Rome, and I'm sure they'll have a pretty distinct units of cavalry and such, and it'll be a great addition to multiplayer. Yeah, I'm dead set on Rome Total War 2, and I hope they put the Thracians and better give them a more distinct and more diverse unit selection. I mean, in Rome Total War, I guess it's kind of fair because they're pretty much a small faction in the campaign and such, so they don't get quite a good amount of troops to choose from. But I think they should make more types of skirmish units for Thrace if they do put them as a playable faction in the new one. Like more Bastarnae looking, kind of Thracian mercenary looking guys with these Thracian helmets and their peltes, and they're also equipped with javelins as well. I'm sure Bastarnae in real life were equipped with javelins and whatnot, as well as those swords. And Thrace was also known for their fierce cavalry riders who did go into battle wielding javelins, but they were pretty much equipped the same as a Bastarnae, but just on horseback. So, I mean, there's a bunch of mods. Well, there's the only one I pretty much play is Roma Surrectum 2, and the Thracian cavalry on that. That's what I want to see on Rome 2, because those Thracian units are pretty sick. But I like to say good game to my opponents, especially Ironclad. The Ironclad general. He definitely gave me a run for my money. At least my Falxmen, but my Bastarnae. And please like and subscribe to my channel, and see you later.